excited to talk today about the ultimate cheat sheet for dominating social media and attracting clients for coaches. If you can see me and hear me, let me know in the chat. I'm super excited to dive into this topic with y'all because this month, in the month of June, we're talking all about the brand elevation formula. Look, coach, this took me forever to get into my noggin. Brand elevation is a really cool subject. When it comes to building your coaching presence online, there's a few facets to your brand. Okay. There's going to be how you reflect your core values. And that's probably one of the most important things that can come across because when people are trying to decide whether they want to choose you, Pikachu, as the most amazing coach for them, they want to know, are you friendly? Can we be friends? They want to know, can you, like, what's in it for me? So you conveying your values is super, super important. You conveying how you can help, super, super important. You conveying that you have helped other people, super, super important. Like all those things are crazy, super important, right? And I think right now there's a lot of chitter chatter about just chicken little stuff. The sky is falling, the sky is falling, because people are trying to match the news cycle and like what's going on there. I think it's also really important when the world is zigging that you also are mindful about how you zag, right? Does that make sense when I talk about zigging and zagging? If you want to set yourself apart, the way to do it is be unique in the ways that actually matter. And it's so important to really understand what is it that drew you to coaching in the first place. Coaching is not awesome. Coaching is nobody wants coaching, blah, 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 blah. How's that serve anybody? To me, not only does the data not support that, because it doesn't, coaching has been growing like crazy for years and years. Just pragmatically, people need the support of people more than ever. Wouldn't you say? With AI coming out and being as prolific as it is, with social media being as prolific as it is, people need the connection of real people now more than ever. And if you're showing up with your brand, your personal brand, being more real and more authentic than ever, don't you think that's going to be more impactful and needed than ever? So, yeah, to answer your question, yes, says Ray J. Absolutely. Hey, thanks for joining me this Tuesday, this fine Tuesday training in our little series. Last week, we were talking all about introducing you to the brand elevation formula. So this week, I'm going to continue the conversation. I'm going to be talking about the strategy guide to choosing your social media presence based on the kind of coach you are so that you can attract the kinds of dream clients that you want to work with and ideally stop hearing crickets. I want you to be able to go on social media and have people like look forward to it. I'm broadcasting to two different places right now. I've got the Facebook group. Hey, yo, nice to see you guys. And I've got our live feed. Hello, hello. I'm so glad you guys are here. The Courageous Coach Club is where it's at. This is where you can get hundreds and hundreds of trainings that you can search for. You get automatic registration, you get automatic replay for less than a couple bucks a day. It is such a no-brainer on purpose because we want you to have access to our very best trainings on marketing, on sales, on packaging, and all of that because people are looking for you. They are. They're looking for someone just exactly like you. And this took me a hot minute to really pull into my witty bitty little heart. I spent a long time thinking I was looking for a unicorn client who would forgive me for all of my awfulness. Would you forgive me for being a woman? Would you forgive me for being a mom? Would you forgive me for being a nerd? Would you forgive me for where I grew up in the world? Would you forgive me for all of the mistakes that I've made and all the mistakes I'm going to make in the world? And I was walking around with all these dang apologies and looking for this unicorn person who was going to forgive me for sucking so bad. And let me just ask you, Does that sound like fun? It's horrible, right? Yeah. We will take that as permission from you to add you back on if you fell off. Just say list. Rebecca and I will comb this chat and we will make sure that you are on this list because I got to tell you, I've been writing the emails personally and I want you on the list. Oh, you don't have the sheet. If you're looking for the sheet, just say strategy and we'll make sure that we send that to you. Yeah. Okay, cool. So let me break this down for you. Where did I put it? Oh, I have it on my wall. So last week we shared this brand new resource. Becca, we've got some people in Facebook land that are looking for this as well. This is going to put you back on my list, my email list. I hope you don't mind. Okay. All right. I hear you. Much love, much patience. Sorry about this. I should have been a little bit more prepared, but here we are. One page coaching social media content strategy planner with love and kisses coming straight at you on the knit out right now. Featured action, linkity link, strategy planner. Get it here. And oh, that's a great picture. Oh no, but it exceeds the limit. Of course it does, because that would just be easy if it didn't. All right, I just popped a button in there and on the Facebook page. I think I just did it. So you should see it on the Facebook as well. Make sure you click the button that just popped up. Okay, back to it. I want you to stop feeling like you have to hide who you are as a high performing CEO, awesome, amazing coach because you don't feel like you are pretty smart enough, cool enough, established enough. Can we just have enough? Enough. Okay. You are enough. Say it with me now in the chat. I am more than enough. Because the truth is, you don't need a unicorn client. You need to be the unicorn coach that you are. And that is what I had to learn. I had to learn to stop apologizing for who I am and start loving it. There it is. David's more than enough. Beth is more than enough. Rage is more than enough, right? Rebecca is more than enough, right? We love Rebecca. I'm more than enough. And I was so scared of somebody telling me that I wasn't enough. Sometimes I get people telling me that I'm not enough. But just because they tell me that I'm not enough, does that mean that I'm not enough? Sometimes I'm too much. That's good. Be too much, right? I would rather that you are far too much than keep hanging on to the story that you're not enough. And maybe this is a simplistic place to start today, but I really want you to hear it because there's too many of us that are walking around apologizing for how awesome we are. A high performer can become a high performer. So how does this happen? Look, there's a reason you were called to doing this kind of work. You were called for some reason to take your experience, your expertise, your knowledge, your know-how, and provide it in the form of coaching to someone else. But when we're seen to start something new and we're seen to show up in a new brand or a new light or a new way, and somebody is not used to seeing us in the new way, they're like, why are you different? Because people around us have a need to have things stay the same. It's the reason why whenever people order pizza, it's always the same kind of pizza, right? You have a right to change your flavor of pizza. You do not have to order pepperoni pizza for the rest of your life. You can order Hawaiian. It's allowed, right? So change is allowed, right? There you go, Linda K. I love this. Some people are going to reject who you are, but honey, they were rejecting you before you ever said anything. They were rejecting you way before. Don't become a hide performer. You need to be a high performer. Show it off. If people don't see you and see what you're about, they are going to assume. They're going to assume that you are what they say you are. If you are a hide performer, meaning you don't post, you don't share, you don't email, you don't host trainings, silence is a form of consent. I want you to claim your voice. And that's why brand elevation is so important. If you're having trouble with the download, let me see if I can just give you the roll. And if you're here live, I want to make sure you're getting what you came for. Let's see how pro can go. Cheer me on in the chat. Let me know how pro I can go. Let's see how pro I can go. I'm telling you, this is live. This is real. Oh my gosh. And Rebecca's got you regardless. Hey, girl. Hey, let me see if I got you. Drop it like it's hot. There should be in the handouts button a download of the PDF. If that didn't work, OMG, I'm sending the carrier pigeons next. I just don't even know what to tell you. Okay. So this is the exact same download. You get a bonus training when you do the other one, but it works. Okay, let's talk about this. This is my core strategy. And I got a great question from one of you for what's the difference between a strategy and a tactic? I answered it in the Facebook group, but I want to bring it up here because they were under the impression that social media is a tactic versus a strategy. So if you're taking notes on today's training, a strategy is the decision making we make about the resources that we have to get the best possible outcome. So, this is a tool to help you with your decision making about your time and energy that's going into the tactic of social media. The problem that a lot of y'all have is you're posting and ghosting, or you're posting and it's crickets, or you're posting and you're attracting the wrong person. And it's because we don't have enough strategy behind the tactic. Is that tracking and making sense? Why you need strategy to go with tactics? So the tactic itself is social media, but the reason we need strategy is because it improves the performance of the tactic. Now, back in 2000, you could pretty much post and be like, wow, there's a social media post. Amazing, right? It was impressive. You didn't need strategy. But nowadays, you need that, right? Okay. No carrier pigeons required. So at the center of our strategy, we have the core principle that is at the center of our messaging. So obviously, if you're having trouble with this, keep in mind this is a 30-minute training. So we're going to be able to go through the framework together today, but I'll just let you know right now, you can have private time with us, 15 minutes free to just sit down and talk about your particular situation, personalize your messaging. And I just popped the button to be able to book that private call to personalize this to your situation. And we have entire programs that just go way deep on messaging, copywriting, all of that kind of stuff. But today I'll go through the framework with you. So then if you choose to do this on your own, you're empowered with the framework. Because that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so the core principle we actually have at the bottom of the sheet, and it's what is your main core principle? The main core principle that you want everyone to know and everyone to understand. So mine is do what matters. It's this core principle, this idea that if I had 15 seconds in front of 10,000 people, and let's say I got onto Tony Robbins' stage, and Amanda, there you have one core message that you can tell people, and that then you're like fired, and you can never talk to anybody ever again. And we're taking away your social media. What would you want to say? So that's the core principle. That's the main message. So if you know your main message, I'd love to hear it in the chat or in the comments. That is going to be at the core of your brand. Okay. That's the thing that you want to elevate. The reason why do what matters is so important to me. Do what matters is really important to me because I really believe that life can be super short and a lot of people are living for other people's priorities. And a lot of people waste a lot of life and a lot of time and a lot of money, and they look back with a lot of regret. And I hate that for people. Like it drives me crazy. My dad passed away when he was 48 years old, and I was 25. And we lost a lot of life together. He abandoned when I was 4 years old, and we reconciled for the last 4 years of his life. And that made a huge impression on me at 25, not the least of which of worrying about, am I going to die super young? And it lit a fire under me of, I need to do what matters. I can't work in a job that is demeaning, or I can't work in an environment where I feel trapped. I can't work with people that I feel disrespected by. I believe the person's working life, that's like 2/3 of your waking life. Like, you spend so much time at work. That's why I love helping people with coaching and with entrepreneurship. Even if you stay in your job, you can feel fulfillment and joy in what you're doing, and to have path and purpose. Do what matters for your life. So that's why this is so important. And I would say the shorter and sweeter, the better. Because if it's really long, like if it takes you a paragraph to explain what you mean, you need to get clearer about what you stand for and what you stand against. Okay. So that's my coaching guidance to you. Let's talk about the 4 areas that you would then talk about around your core principle. So the first one is passion. What fuels your passion for this work? Why do you care? So I just shared a short story about my dad and about work, and like there was probably 20 social posts in what I just shared. So Mona's like, emotional baggage weighs too much. That would be a good short way to do it. Linda is like, sweetsurvivor.com, working to end exploitation and trafficking, right? So I would make that even shorter, Linda, right? End exploitation and trafficking now. Something like really short. You want it to fit on a button, like you want it to be short, right? What fuels your passion for this work? Why do you care to share about it? About a quarter of your posts should be about your passion for it. So, one of the things that I see doesn't work very well in people's social content is they spend far too much time just talking about their passion, right? And then people are like, great, you're super passionate about it. But are you good at it? So, the next one is proficiency. And I'm seeing a lot of clever here in the chat. So clever being like using acronyms and using phrases and rhymes and things. And I'm going to give you another really important lesson. Took me a long time to learn. Clear outperforms better all the time, like 100% of the time. Clear over clever, right? So I was always worried that if I didn't have a jingle or if I didn't have a rhyme or something, it wouldn't be memorable. Short is, and able to pull it in quick, is always going to outperform clever, right? Proficiency. What 30-second tips do you know that are going to help your dream client succeed? One of my principles is help them now. If you were with me in my training a couple of weeks ago, I shared the example of cleaning up or getting ready for a party at your house. You've got a family member who's standing over you going, can I do something? Can I help with something? And what I've found works so much better is if you just pick up a freaking mop, or you just start scrubbing something, or you start tidying up. And it's the same thing in your marketing. If you just help, you just solve it, then people are always going to love you a heck lot more, rather than like you saying, how can I help you today? Because often when you're stuck, you don't even know exactly why. You don't even know exactly like what has you so stuck. And if you can demonstrate that you're proficient by helping with the thing that people didn't even really know was the thing that was sticking them, and there's like a sweet spot for this, right? You don't want to choose something that like they don't even know and can't even appreciate it. We want to choose the thing that they appreciate being helped with. They appreciate being helped with. You get the distinction? Don't help them with something they don't appreciate. Help them with something they do appreciate. But don't wait for them to ask. Help them up front. Help them now. Okay. Next thing, and I struggle with this one. What has happened recently that you're proud of accomplishing and has had impact in your mission. So maybe this is testimonial proof that what you do has helped someone else, that there's an outcome. I recently helped somebody save nearly $100,000 in their coaching business. And it took us 3 hours going through their financial statements and doing some process review, but I helped them save like $100,000 a year. And they spent like $500. Not a bad ROI, but I'm proud of that. I'm really proud of that. And it took so much for me to write the post to brag about it because I hate bragging. But the thing is that if I don't, then you don't find out about it. And if you don't find out about it, then you don't know I'm that good. You know what I'm saying? So we've got, and it's not about me, Amanda, bragging. It's about me, the CEO, showcasing what my business can do. That's the frame that's really helped me. Is this helpful, y'all? Let me know in the chat if this is helpful. Last piece, profit. What's the current opportunity for someone to work with you? So that conversation that I had with that person, that was actually an audit. So I do these audits that are, the basic audit is only $200. It's not even $500. And so in that audit, I can actually do a roadmap with you of what your processes are for your marketing, your sales, and I can actually impart my expertise directly one-on-one with you, give you the call recording, give you the step-by-step, and it's only 200 bucks. And the first step is to book a 15-minute call with Rebecca to make sure you'd benefit from that call. And then if you would, she'll book the $200 audit call with you. And that's the main way that we're helping people. And we have other programs that will do done for you stuff. We have the Experts Network program. We have the Courageous Coach Club. We have like lots of ways that we help in a deeper way. But that face-to-face one-on-one audit time has been a way that I've been able to help people save thousands of dollars in their business or make tens of thousands of dollars in their business just by doing things in a little bit of a smarter way. Right? But based on our expertise and what we know really works. There you go. Linda says she just got off the phone with Rebecca. It was great. She asks questions. She doesn't try to sell you, right? And that's our style because we only help people we know we can help. We don't like the icky sales. We hate it when people do it to us, so we don't like to do it to other people. So that's it. So what you do is you fill in this strategy form. And then you've got your inspiration for making sure you've got balanced strategic content for elevating your brand. And it increases the likelihood that people are going to want to engage with your brand as the bodacious, amazing, high performing coach that you are. I hope you found this to be very useful. I'm excited to talk with you about your business. How many of you are like super serious this fall about getting clients and having your clients come in on a really regular basis? Let me know in the chat. Just shout a Y, raise your hand. Stephanie's super serious, Rachel's super serious, David's super serious. Okay, super. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.